Hello again. Thank you very much for joining me here on Movie Ninja. Happy Valentine's Day. And tonight I'm going to be talking about Casablanca. Now, I already said it. At the time of this recording, it is Valentine's Day. So that gets me thinking a bit nostalgic about some of my favorite, romantic films. And before I get into it proper, I have to say, this is not a review of Casablanca. Simply put, this is an extraordinary, strong recommendation. Please, if you have not seen this classic film, even before I start talking about it, go watch it. It is something that deserves to be seen before getting into any of the finer details, because I am going to be talking about events and characters in the film. So, I don't know if you just thought this was going to be a review. It is not. It is a strong recommendation. I love this movie. I've watched it many, many times over the years, ever since I was a teenager, which, look at me, that was a while ago. So, yeah, all right. This is a film that I love to revisit. And Casablanca. Why Casablanca? Okay. This movie, I feel, is one of the best romantic films I've ever seen, mostly because of its complexity and the chemistry of its characters. Now, to discuss a little bit further, Casablanca takes place at the infamous Casablanca in 1942. An American expatriate, Rick Blaine, has established a saloon, and if you go a little bit farther into the back, you also have a casino. And Rick's Place, the name of his cantina. Rick's Place is a watering hole. It is a social gathering establishment, but also it is a way for many people to actually gain their freedom from Casablanca. Casablanca at this time, along with several other regions in Africa, those that were loyal to the French Vichy administration, the Third Reich sympathetic French administration at that time. So during the film, Rick comes into possession of a extraordinary MacGuffin, some exit visas that can pretty much make it to where anyone who wants to flee or escape from Casablanca will be able to do so very easily. So that's the setup. The reason I want to talk about this, and the reason that I mentioned the complexity of it, is Rick and Ilsa, one of the screen's best romances ever. Rick met Elsa at a time of tragedy in her life. This was not something that he knowingly capitalized on. Rick is... He wasn't exploitive or a creep in that aspect, but when he met Elsa, this was a time where he was still capable of being shaped in a very specific way. Even though he had committed to a relationship with Ilsa, there was an agreement made between them. They wouldn't think about the past, they wouldn't discuss the past, and they wouldn't really think about the future. They were only supposed to live for that day, or however long they were together. Some people call this nowadays a whirlwind romance. Yeah, I could very clearly see it being characterized in that fashion. But, for the time that they knew each other in their young lives, they did love each other. They were very devoted, even though they didn't go through the usual routes of expressing that devotion. Unfortunately, due to an unforeseen revelation, Ilsa had to abandon the relationship. And I don't fault her for that. I don't. As we progress through the story, Ilsa reconnects with Rick due to a set of circumstances where her husband, Victor Laszlo, he needs these exit visas to enable his political activism and open public resistance against the Third Reich and its cruelties in Europe. Now, once again, I have to stress that Victor Laszlo is in a very hard place right now because Casablanca, on the surface, as presided over by the jurisdiction of Captain Renault, played by Claude Rains, he has to figure out a way to get out of this place, even though he could theoretically spend the rest of his life, however long that may be, in Casablanca, if he cannot get any type of exit visa. So he needs the exit visa that Rick has. Unfortunately, he also has something that Rick wants, or at least wanted, a lifetime ago. Even though it's a few years, but when you think about the one that got away, it doesn't matter if you live for 100 years. You're always going to remember them, and you're always going to think back to what if. What if? You know, it's both beautiful and tragic for many of us. Now, when Ilsa reconnects with Rick, she's unfortunately disappointed. The Rick that she knew when she was young is not the Rick that exists anymore. And the film tries to give Rick the benefit of the doubt, saying that because of the condition of their relationship when they disconnected, you know, he has every right to be as cynical and dismissive and as much of a jerk as he wants to Ilsa. But understand, and this is something that separates this film from many of its contemporaries. This film recognizes that just because the guy doesn't like things a certain way, he's not in the right to feel the way he does. And that's the thing about it. That's the complexity. That's when you see it. And some people might say, like, well, she could have gone about it a different way, and maybe, you know, like, things could have panned out somewhat differently to where he would understand. No matter how she walked away, this is my thought. This is my opinion. No matter how she walked away, it was never gonna, oh, okay, I'm totally fine with this. No. This was traumatic for him. Because this, to the best of our knowledge, this was the most serious relationship that he had been in when they were together. That was his most serious relationship at that time. And Ilsa explains her situation. She gives him the complete backstory, the rundown. She catches him up from whenever they left to where they are right now. And initially, he still feels that he should be spiteful to her because he was spurned in a way. Like, he was abandoned. Better word. He was abandoned. So he deserves to be spiteful to her. But when they reconnect, Ilsa illuminates the prospect that relationships are layered and chaotic, mercurial, and so incomprehensibly maddening in many ways for many of us, you know? Relationships shape who we are. They strengthen us. They inspire us. They make us better people. And they scar us. They destroy us. That's the risk of love. When it works out, it's so incredibly intoxicating and glorious. When they don't, it's the absolute essence of pain. That's just the nature of it. The creative and destructive aspect of love. Most romantic films, one person meets another person, they get together, there might be a little bit of friction in the middle there, but we know exactly how this is going to end. You know? Casablanca is much more. It is so much more. And to learn about these characters, to go on their journey, to be with them. And some people are going to be for Team Rick, no matter what. Some people are going to be Team Ilsa, no matter what. You know? And poor Victor is like, I'm like, wait, what happened here? What's going on? I don't want to be arrested by Nazis. That's all I want. Before I get a little bit carried away here. Most people who have not seen Casablanca, when the first time you see it, you're not ready for it. Okay? It is not going to deliver to you the typical Hollywood, then and now. Then and now. It is not going to give you the typical Hollywood romantic experience. And I will just end it there. You know, as far as like this Valentine's Day goes, I'm going to be revisiting one of my favorite films of all time, Casablanca. What about you guys? Have you seen the movie? What are some movies that you like to revisit on a regular basis? You know, what are some of your favorite romantic films? You know, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, have a happy Valentine's Day. And I hope you have just, you know, you can watch it on Valentine's Day. You can watch it at any time. This is one of the greatest films that's ever been made. So treat yourself. Treat yourself. It has a glorious cast, is a wonderful script, memorable lines and dialogue. So there we go. As far as like to further my recommendation that I made at the very beginning of this video, please do yourself a favor. Whether it's Valentine's Day or not, watch Casablanca. It's great. You'll love it. Trust me. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.